Welcome to the 224th episode of the Videogames podcast, where we talk about any game at all, including new stuff, old stuff, and anything in between. If we are playing it, we'll be talking about it. Today we are recording on March 17th, 2021. My name is Brad Galloway. I am the editor of GameCritics.com, and 50% of this here show with me is a man who's fresh out of the bathroom, Carlos Rodella.
Wow, thanks for sharing that TMI information.
TMI, folks, starting off with a bang.
You like called me for the podcast, and I was like, I can't answer right now, but
I'm currently occupied.
Yeah, I think I'm peeing so much because we're in the TMI section, because I'm drinking so much water, because I just got myself a new gallon water jug that on the side of it has these little hash marks, like times for the day, and you're supposed to try to get through the whole thing.
So they want you to drink 1 gallon per day?
Yeah, that's like the idea that you're supposed to be like really healthy if you do that.
That is a shit. I do not drink I don't even drink near a gallon of water a day. No way. No way that's happened.
This is cool because it does have like inspirational things on the side of it, like not just the times when you're supposed to drink it, but like in the morning it goes, good morning, and then 9 a.m. You got it. 11, remember your goal. 1 p.m., that's it. Like you're doing good. So
okay. Well, I mean, it's always good to get those affirmations, positive messages. Water is good. I mean, don't overdo it, but that sounds like good water. You know, it's good to stay hydrated. Most of us don't drink enough. That's true.
I know. So anyways, I'm also, going to the bathroom a lot too.
Yeah, that's the thing that happens. All right, folks, enough about Carlos's bladder. We got a great show lined up for you. Tons of games, tons of content. We're going to kick it off as usual with a little bit of housekeeping, or in this case, a lot of housekeeping. The house is very messy today. On my side of the house, as you know, divided with duct tape down the middle of the living room. Only one item. We'll get to that in a minute. But Carlos, you got some serious shit piled up, brother. What you got going?
Yeah, I know. It is just so cluttered in here, and I've been trying to do a better job of it, but a week goes by, and a lot, happens.
Piles and piles and piles.
Yeah. This is part of the cleaning of the house. First off, I want to say, if you listen to the podcast and you dig it, which a bunch of you do every week, which is great.
God, I hope you do. If you keep listening, I hope we're not a hate listen for anybody. I hope that people listen genuinely because they like it. That would really bum me out if they were like, what are those dumb fuckers going to say this week? I hate these guys. And that's what's driving our listens. That would be a huge bummer.
Well, they're not doing that. They're not doing that.
I hope not.
I'm saying you're enjoying it. So here's my only question or request, I guess, is just tell one friend. Just tell one person who you think likes video games and might like the show. You just tell them. That's all. It's in the house.
One friend, tell that friend.
Yeah, you only need one. Secondly, we might do a live show. I talked about that to Brad today on Twitter, and you're down, maybe, Brad? Question mark?
Yeah, for sure. I would be happy doing a live show. I think we have to schedule it ahead of time. I'm not sure that I will be ready to do that next week, because next week may be our spoiler cast for Days Gone, depending on if I finish the game or not. But so I don't think we want to do it for Days Gone. That's kind of going to be a deep dive. I don't know if that's the best show to do that. But the next show that we do that's just a general show, yeah, I'm up for that for sure.
Yeah, okay, cool. So we'll do it on our YouTube channel, and we'll let you know when it's actually going to happen. So I don't think it will be next week, because I think we are going to hopefully do Days Gone.
Hopefully.
Yeah. And to that front, you don't have any housekeeping on that, but you're still playing it, and I've finished it.
Yeah, you must have burned through it, dude, because, no spoilers or anything here, but, I'm in the last section. I know you're in the last section. You said there's a lot of content. That is true, dude. I mean, one thing that I guess I didn't realize and that people kind of undersold, Days Gone is a massive game. It is a huge game, especially if you're doing all the side quests and stuff. I knew it was open world, and I figured, I can probably just blow off a lot of this stuff. But a lot of it's really fun, and there's just, a ton of stuff. I had no idea the game was this big, dude.
It's crazy, and when you get into this last section, without spoilers, there's a lot of the same stuff you would do normally in the first section of the game, and things like infestations, etc. And a lot of them are very helpful to clear out because they let you fast travel. And when you're trying to finish a game, you want to fast travel. So it's you're stuck in the middle of doing all these kind of, in quotes, menial tasks. But I can tell you one thing that can fuck right off is that near the end, and if you're playing this along with us and you are at this point, you'll see a bunch of hordes as little new side missions. Don't fuck with them. What are you, insane? Are you a masochist? they like all of a sudden just drop like 10 on you, and you're like, I would like to keep my sanity, so no, I'm not going to go take out those 10 hordes that are new side missions. Anyways.
Yeah. Well, yeah, and just really quickly to wrap this up before we move on. Yeah, I'm really enjoying the game still, really liking it. I got to this last section, and you had finished it, and I'm like, oh fuck, Karsh is almost done, or he is done, and now I got to finish too. But I'm having a lot of time. I don't want to rush through it because I'm really enjoying this, and once I'm finished, I will never come back to it. Right? I'll never replay this. So it's like I want to squeeze it all out. I got on the story track where I'm like, oh, okay, story's starting to drop. I really want to continue the main story, and I started ignoring the side stuff because I was enjoying the main story so much. And then I got to a part where it kind of made sense in the story that I maybe pause and do some side stuff. So that's where I'm at right now, where I got a lot of good narrative, talked to a bunch of people I wanted to talk to, stuff happened, and then it was like, okay, now I don't feel like... Because like sometimes you play an RPG, right? It's like, oh, the meteor's coming, end of the world, do all this important stuff, but pause and then do all the side content before you finish the game. Like, I hate that's a weird feeling, right? And I don't like when that happens because it feels like you're putting this huge dramatic buildup on hold to go do your side stuff, the gamer stuff, right? But I was like, okay, cool. Like, I feel like it made sense that we stop here. The story kind of naturally paused, which was good. I'm taking a breath of fresh air. I'm getting these hordes out of the way. Not the hordes, but the infestations out of the way. Because, like you said, you need to get those gone so you can fast travel. So I'm making good progress, man. Good progress. I'm hoping to get it wrapped up by next week, but we'll see.
Yeah, by the way, the place that you're in, and I know where you are in by just the things you said, because I just played it. There's so much more, bro. Like, you're in that delay part, which is cool, and you're like, oh, I could do some stuff before the end of the game. Wrong. Before the end of the end section, because there's more, bro, and it's insane. You're like, I thought this was fucking over. So, just so you know, don't what is it, dwaddle? What did they say? Dawdle? Dwaddle? Don't dwaddle.
Don't dwaddle.
Yeah, get going, dude. Get going.
I'm still having fun. I do want to be very clear to everybody. I am definitely still having fun. So that's definitely a big check mark in the plus column.
Yeah, and I'm reserving my thoughts for the podcast.
We will talk.
Saga Frontier Remastered is coming out.
I just saw some PR for that.
Okay, and I have a Saga Frontier story that I'll tell quickly. It is cleaning up, this house is dirty. I will play it. I usually am a sucker for remaster RPGs, but my Saga Frontier story was, and now correct me if I'm wrong, but that's the one where there's like many different characters that have their own storylines, right?
Dude, Saga is like one of those experimental IPs where you never know what you're going to get. I believe you are correct. I believe it's several different characters. I'm pretty sure it is.
Yeah, that cover, I know that cover anywhere because of what happened to me. I got destroyed when I was a young person. So I played this game, and you can start from a lot of different places, and I was just enjoying it. I love the combat, and it was really, it's called Free Scenario System, which means you can go and do whatever the fuck you want. It also, back in the PlayStation days, had bugs. And back in the PlayStation days, without updates, right? Oh my goodness, back then there was no patches. If you had a bug and it screwed your save game or something, that's it, right? That's Pretty much. So that happened to me. And I was like 60 hours in this fucker or something. Like, I was in to Saga Frontier. And I did something where I did something out of order. And I went to an area where the boss was, and I wasn't supposed to be there yet. And I got stuck there. And that was it. And I had saved all the games. All my save games were around the same area. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. So
like, there was none from the beginning of the game.
Nothing you could kind of safely go back to. No.
Yeah. So I was like, oh, wait, I can't get out of this? And so to this day, I've been like, I need to get back to that point.
Man. I may be misremembering. I could be wrong, but it was one of the Saga games, and it may be this one. It very well may be this one. That when it originally came out, I reviewed it for Game Critics, and I believe it was the lowest score I ever gave a game. I gave it a 0.5. Almost a 0. Almost a total 0. I really did not like this game back in the day. And I was trying to Google it real quick. I can't find it. I bet if I go in my files, I can probably find it. But anyway, that is the one that stands out to me. That's what I associate with Saga. I am not a fan of this IP at all.
We'll revisit it when it comes out, and I will be playing it. Another quick note, which is something I'll talk about later in the show, but Outer Worlds has new DLC out today. I'll be talking about one of them, the newest one, in a minute. But also, they gave a new update that it plays 60 frames per second on Xbox Series X and PS5.
Nice.
and you noticed it right away. I went back in to kind of like prepare myself for the DLC, finish up some side missions, and man, oh man, when you go 60 FPS, you can't go
Can't
back.
go back.
You literally can't. Like, I can't do it. I can't even do 30. It is so smooth. It's how I want video games, and probably how they will always be in the future. So that's just a little note.
Well, that's good news for me because I did not play very much. I was not in the right headspace when I played it the first time. I keep saying I'm going to come back to it, and now that there's a new DLC, and now that it's up to 60 frames per second, it sounds like the perfect time. Maybe after Wrap Up Day is gone, maybe I'll jump into that next. And it sounds like I'll be getting the optimal experience, like we always say. Best time to play a game, 6 months, maybe even a year after release.
Yeah, was this about a year? I don't know. I think
Yeah, it seems like about give or take.
7, 8 months or something. Anywho, that's a cool update. A couple of other quick things. Game Pass has a ton of really good games coming to the system or service. And two that I'm interested in is Empire of Sin. I've always thought about trying. Did you review it?
I did not personally review it, but we did review it. I believe it was, I want to say it was AJ Small who reviewed it for us at Game Critics. We do have a review up at Game Critics, but it wasn't by me.
Do you know if it was good or bad? We don't know.
He did like it. He said it was a little bit janky, but overall, I think he liked it. Yes.
Yeah, okay. Anyway, again, free if you have Game Pass. And the other one that I'm really interested in is Octopath Traveler. Finally, I can play this game. Oh, you don't give it? Yeah.
I'm not into the JRPGs, especially that kind of grindy JRPG. But if you like it, man, go for it.
I will play that. So, anyways, if you're interested in either of those, they're on Game Pass, and about like 7 or 8 other ones coming really soon.
I just saw an announcement today. Speaking of Game Pass, like there's like 60 new games coming to Game Pass. I just saw the thing, and I didn't click on the link because I didn't have time. But like they're like, yeah, giant influx of games coming soon.
Yeah.
So keep an eye out for that. I should read up on that. Maybe you keep talking. I'll look up real quick.
Yeah, there was a bunch. Those are the two that I noticed.
Yeah.
And my last piece of housekeeping is it's a story as well as kind of like a foreshadowing of what's going to happen in a new episode. But we had talked about doing a spicy episode on this podcast.
Yeah.
And we still want to, which basically means like playing some sort of adult type games and actually like earnestly playing them and see if we actually enjoy any of them or what funniness might happen. So I found some adult games. What my love would be, or my kind of desired game for a spicy game.
Oh God, love, desire. Okay.
You know, they're part of the conversation. Is a role-playing game that was also adult. Like that would be really cool because I think of Dragon Age, right? Or other games where you can romance people, but it's not really that graphic, or it's not even that really big part of the game. So I was like, well, if I had to have an adult game, it would be really, really cool if it was a role-playing game. Point is, I went to Itch.io, and you can actually filter by those two things. So you can filter by role-playing plus adult. And there's no other site that lets you do that. Like even Steam just has like a blanket catch-all for adult games.
You can do there are sub tags you can do on Steam because that's where I was looking to look for content.
Can you add adult plus role playing? Maybe I forgot you could.
Yeah, you can. There's like LGBT, there's adult, there's NSFW, there's role playing, there's action. There's also if you it's a weird kind of janky menu. Like I couldn't find it right off the bat, but once I was digging around for a few minutes, I was like, "Oh, here it is." And then you can kind of click and filter a little bit. So yeah,
but here's why I remember I did do it. It picks role playing or adult. I don't think it puts them together. Like in Itch.io's, it was like, no, these are just role playing adult games. But like I think on Steam, it like because I was getting like regular role playing games.
Right. Yeah, there's a trick to it. There's a trick to it. I think you can, but I'm not the expert.
I just bring it up because that's the kind of thing I'm looking for now. I'm like, that would be very interesting. And I did find one, and it was janky as hell. But I'll save it for the spicy episode. Just a reminder for us. We should do it sometime soon, and also I think I found out what I'm going to be looking for, an RPG adult game.
And if anybody out there has good recommendations, please feel free to send us your recommendations. There's a lot of like junk to filter through, and we're not really getting codes for these, so it's like every time we see something, we got to like pay for it with our own money, and it sucks to buy something that sucks. So I know it's weird and embarrassing because people are like, I don't want to tell Brad and Carlos that I played this game. They're going to think I'm a fucking pervert. Like, I guarantee you we will not judge you.
We will not.
We will not judge you. We will just be like, okay, cool. Thank you for the recommendation. You can tell us that your friend played this game and you heard it was good, and that's fine. We will not question you. Yep. I'm just looking for the quality stuff. I don't want to blow a bunch of money on stupid games. So
that's
help us out if you can.
Yeah, that's important. Like quality stuff. I downloaded one thing and I was like, oh man, why did I even, install this thing?
Yeah, so, some of them are real junk, dude. It's hard to find the good stuff.
Yeah. Oh, what do you have in the housekeeping to clean?
Just one thing really quickly, kind of a side note. If you follow me on Twitter, you may have seen me going through my existential crisis yesterday. Okay, so here's what happened. I had a lot of photos on my phone, and I needed to get those photos off my phone. And I've been using Dropbox for a while, used it for many years, where I could just like plug in my phone, it would upload my photos, clear out my phone, no big deal. It kind of stopped working recently, and I didn't know why it stopped working. And so my phone was totally full. I needed to record a video, and I didn't have any space on my phone. So I went to like, started dinking around with that, like what's the settings, what's going on, delete it, re-download, and it seemed to start working again. And then I went to my phone where the app was, and it was like, oh, here are these other features that you're not using, and one is PC backup. And I'm like, oh, and this is on me, right? Like, I saw the thing, it said PC backup, and I thought it meant take phone or photos from your phone and upload them to your PC in case you wanted them there, because you don't want to have to go to like Dropbox's cloud and like look through all the files. Sometimes you want to just have something, just get it off your phone real quick, right?
Yeah.
That's what I thought it meant. That is not what it meant. And that was my bad. I should have like researched it a little bit more. I clicked the button because they make it really easy for you to do. And what it actually did was Dropbox like got into my computer and started backing up my entire computer.
What?
So I'm like, oh shit, I didn't think it was going to do that. That's not really what I wanted, but here we are. The process has already started. So I'm like, okay, well maybe that's not too bad, because I mean, having a backup is fine. I mean, it doesn't hurt to have backups. So it went like that for a couple days, but I noticed it was irritating as shit, right? Every time I did anything, a little pop-up would be like, do you want this in Dropbox? Or do you want to move this in Dropbox? And like my computer was running like slower, and I'm like, okay, fuck this. This is irritating. I don't like my performance to be affected, right? So I turned off that feature, and disaster. Everything in my computer got moved around. Some things that were on my desktop got hidden in folders. Some things that were in folders disappeared. Things got moved around. All my icons are moved. And some of the stuff that I used to have was just gone. And I'm like, okay, wait a minute. Where the fuck is all this stuff? I start looking around. Can't find it. Like, I have the thing that was very disturbing to me, and the thing that you may have seen me panicking about on Twitter as I was like very externally processing my grief, was I had a folder where I keep 21 years worth of reviews that I've written for Game Critics on my desktop. And I'm like, every review I write, I save it. So then I can always come back to it for reference, or if anybody asks me a question, or just whatever. Like, it's kind of it's a little badge of honor, right? Shows what I've done with my life. I've got 21 years worth of game reviews in this folder. That folder was gone. Absolutely gone. And I was looking on my computer. It was not on my computer anywhere on my computer at all. So I go to fucking Dropbox, and they're like, we don't have it either. And I'm like, okay, bitch, you must have had it, because you're the only thing that's different in the last couple of years. I start poking around their site. Can't find it. I finally find it. It's in the trash for some reason. I did not tell them to trash it. I did not want that file removed from my computer. Finally find it, and I try to restore it. It's not working. I'm telling you the very compressed version of the story. This is like an all-day thing that I'm going through here. Like, it was like an hour of searching my computer, an hour of fucking around on Dropbox's site, checking the files, looking at all the folders and shit. Finally find the thing, try to restore it. I partially restore it, get it back on my computer. I'm like, okay, good. I go to the file, open up the file. All the fucking folders are empty. And I'm like, fucker, I got the folders back, but none of the files. So that sent me like Looney Tunes, right? I started freaking out, bouncing off the walls. I just was like a gorilla on crack, dude. I was just going apeshit, right? So like I go back to Dropbox, I do some more digging, waste my entire fucking day, finally find the things that were supposed to be in the folders, try to get them uploaded back to my computer. It's like 21 years of folders and files, and so it's like a big thing. They zip it, send it to my computer. I try to open it, and the zip reader says unreadable file. So I'm like, oh my god, what the fuck? And I'm freaking out. And I have to walk away from my computer for a little while because I'm getting depressed. I'm like researching where's the nearest bridge I can jump off because I'm going fucking crazy. And I just like having a real bad time, right? So like I come back to it, reboot the whole computer, just start fresh, have a cup of coffee, sit down. And for whatever reason, the next time the zip file was able to be unzipped. I don't know what happened the first time, but it did unzip. Took all that shit, put it back where it's supposed to go. I got a external hard drive, backed up that shit like immediately.
Nice. Yes.
And I'm like, okay, fuck, disconnected Dropbox. Like a nightmare, dude. I mean, the depression and sadness I felt in that moment when it really seemed like 21 years of work was down the fucking toilet was like immense. I mean, I could have gone to Game Critics itself. I could have like gone into the archive and copied and pasted all the reviews, but not everything that was in those folders is on Game Critics. There's a lot of unused stuff, a lot of backup stuff, a lot of pieces that I've done for other people, a lot of just random stuff that's just on Game Critics. And I couldn't replace all that stuff. So it was just like a serious gut punch for like hours yesterday. And I just was like, mad and sad and depressed and frustrated and like, I was just like tweeting nasty shit to Dropbox on Twitter because I was out of control, and I was just like, "Fuck you guys, fuck you, Dropbox, fucking piece of shit." I was just like mad at him, and eventually I got it back, and it's all fine. I got my stuff back now, but man, that was dark times for like a day, and I never want to repeat that again. So I'm not doing anything with Dropbox anymore. Fuck you, Dropbox. Fuck your fucking PC backup service. Leave my shit alone. That's all.
Yeah, and plus it came out of something you didn't even want to do. Like you just wanted to back up a certain specific thing, and you were like, "Oh, I guess I'll do it."
Yes, an accident to begin with led to like 72 hours of just like anger and depression. So I don't need that shit in my life.
Yeah, but to anyone listening, backing up stuff is good. But like you said, and that's what I did, is I just find drives, like real physical drives, and throw them back there. I mean, it's crazy. And also it brings up the point is I do want places that I like to, put up archived pictures and stuff like that. But anytime you rely on a third party, it's just question mark. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. Absolutely. It's funny that we're talking about this because just to circle back to Days Gone for a minute, there's this one scene in Days Gone, which I thought was really good, where one of the guys has a picture of his wife and he's showing the main character Deacon. And he's like, "Oh, do you got a picture of your wife?" And he's like, "No, I don't." And then he's like, "Yeah, barely anybody has pictures because we all put everything on our phones. And when phones went away, all our pictures went away." And I'm like, "God damn it, you're right. Oh my God. Like all my pictures are like on my phone or on a hard drive or on my computer. All the pictures of my kid and my wife and my wedding and all this stuff." Like, I mean, we got like a couple like actual physical pictures laying around, but like not nearly as much as my mom and dad did and not as much as my grandma and grandpa did. We just, if all this stuff goes away, like all that's just going to be gone in a poof. It's kind of depressing and sad.
I know, not to go on a picture tangent because you already got us here, but one, in that moment in Days Gone, Deacon's lying.
He is lying, yes, it is.
And we're going to talk about this on the Days Gone episode, which stay tuned, might be next episode. Maybe. But that motherfucker lies a lot.
He has to though, man. He's surviving, bro.
I know, but I'm just saying I can't do it. I'm playing the character, but I know I couldn't lie as much as he does. He like lies so effortlessly. Like it's a way to stay alive, yes.
Yeah, man. Some of that shit is life and death bullshit, dude. Like,
I know, but I don't think I could do it. Secondly, is I started archiving all my pictures on Squarespace. I have a Squarespace site, and it's like my own domain. carlsfredello.com if you want to go over there, and it's still cool for me because it's only one spot. It's not like a service like Dropbox or something. It's just something that I own, and I own the storage space, etc. But even that could go away. Yeah. So I think we should just start printing pictures.
Dude, I know. I was like, for like a hot second, I was like, okay, I'm gonna buy a bunch of paper, and I'm gonna get like a photo quality printer, and I'm like, no, I got like there's just too many, dude. I think I'm gonna get a couple more externals and just do it that way for now, because.
The externals for now. But I'm saying like you get those little mini printers that have like the really small paper.
Yeah,
those are pretty cool. You can put a bunch of pictures on one. Anyways, welcome back to the Picture Podcast.
Welcome back.
Let's get.
Are we talking about games this episode? I don't think we are.
This is like a half an hour. You guys could have skipped. You could skip ahead 30 minutes, just so you know.
Yeah, let's cut that out. Okay, are we good on the housekeeping, or you got more?
No, it's fucking clean.
All right, house is clean. Here we go. Let's get to the main content of the show. All this good stuff. Okay, kicking it off. Fairly often, Carlos, you surprise me with a secret game that you have picked up somewhere, some dark back alley. Some weird guy's got it stashed inside his trench coat or something. I have no idea what you're talking about. I have no idea what you're bringing to the show. What is the first game we're talking about? What is the secret game?
The secret game isn't as crazy as some of the other ones because you might have even heard of it. But it was a random pick that I've been eyeballing for a while, actually. And it is called Signs of the Sojourner.
Sojourner? Oh, dude, that's one of the games I'm bringing up later in the show.
Oh, no. Well, guess what? We're talking about it now.
We're talking? Okay, well, I got to make a change to the script then, because that means I got nothing to talk about at the end of the show. Okay, let me move this around.
We'll figure it out. I can't plan it. It's a secret.
That is true. It is. We did not plan this. Okay, let's talk about it now.
Normally, you're like, Carlos brings weirdo monster, creatures.
Yeah, you've got like random, like you brought the what is that? The Seinfeld Telltale thing. You always got some like weird $2 indie that is nowhere near my radar, and this is actually something I'm playing right now, which is hilarious.
Okay, well, anyways, I'll give you a quick setup. I know you wanted to probably do it, but I'll do a very, very poor job of it. So then you'll have to, explain it. We'll get to it together.
We'll support each other on this journey, Carlos.
But before we get there, here's a quick tangent. I don't know if this happens to you, but it happens to me a lot. I'm doing something, whether I'm watching something or something's in my life, and then I start playing a game and the same kind of stuff comes up in the game. You know what I mean? We talked about it before.
Does not happen to me too often. The
It
Deacon
happens to
thing
me
with the
all the
pictures is
time.
probably the most recent thing. But
Okay. Well, this one was I was watching the Takashi 69 documentary, and it's actually really good. And he was talking about how things in your childhood affect you greatly, like later on in life,
sure, yeah,
and sometimes for the rest of your life, and shape your life. And then this game starts, and you're literally a kid, like living through a memory as a kid, and it kind of does shape you for the rest of the game. And I was like, wow, that's so weird. Anywho, what this game is an adventure game told through dialogue and cards, which is very interesting. And basically, the mechanic of the game is you have these cards that are basically different types of emotions or feelings or ways to tackle a situation mentally. So one of the cards is about having empathy, and one of the cards is about being tactful, and one of the cards is about being, understanding things creatively and industriously. And so basically you use these cards to try to match your cards with the person you're talking to so that you can have a good conversation and actually communicate. And this is so up our alley because of the stuff we talk about on this podcast, and how just not just game stuff, but how you should get along with your fellow person, and tolerance and unity. So one of the things I thought was really interesting, and we can talk about the story in a minute here, is that in the beginning you start with very few cards, but that's almost like you're starting with like a few different ways to deal with people, right?
yeah,
and
yeah.
then like as you play the game, you get more cards that basically give you more options of how to interact with people. And something that's said at the very beginning of the game is the mother is talking to your character, and you're having a disagreement with one of your childhood friends. Hence, what I said at the beginning of is kind of about your childhood. And she's like, just remember, dealing with a disagreement with a friend doesn't mean you have to end your friendship with them.
Right.
It's actually miscommunication is like just part of it, and you have to learn how to communicate with people. So like that's the kind of setup of this game.
Yeah, it's really interesting. I had heard a lot about this one last year when it was on PC. A lot of people had brought it to my attention, and I'm like, yes, this sounds like my jam. I will play it when it comes to Switch. It is now on Switch, which is where I'm playing it. Where are you playing it?
PS4.
Okay. So this is it's like a hand-drawn 2D game. Like you have pictures of people, like little portraits when you're talking to people. So it's all about the conversations. It's a really interesting idea. How far into it are you? How many hours?
I went through. Well, this is not a spoiler, but I went through the first kind of trip.
Okay.
There's like many trips you can take. I think 5 or 6 trips, and you go and meet people on these like little caravan trips. And so I've met all the people in all the little towns I went on my first trip, and then I came back home. Yeah.
Okay, that's about how far I've gotten as well. I just finished my first trip last night. In this game, you like have to go on these, like you said, like on a caravan road trip to collect items that you're supposed to bring back to your store. And when you go to these different towns along your route, like you talk to people and maybe you buy their goods or maybe you don't, and then you talk to them. And a lot of people knew your mom, so that's kind of a factor too. It's a really interesting idea. I will say I'm kind of a little bit frustrated with it though. Like I'm all about like conversation, communication, and the cards that you have, which are how you interact with people. You have a very limited number, like you said. I mean, I think you have like 10 or maybe just 12 to start off with, and all the things are like represented by shape. So like circle means like empathetic, and like triangle means logical, and there's other shapes that you don't have at the beginning of the game. You meet some people and they've got shapes that you don't have.
Right.
So like you can't even really talk to them. And it's kind of a cool idea because as you're going through these discussions, you don't have to like quote unquote win them. Like if you match, like if somebody's empathetic to you and you return the empathy, then it becomes like a quote unquote like a good exchange, and then like you end the conversation in a good way. But you don't have to. Like you can blow people off, and if they say something nice to you, like with empathy, you can be like logical back and kind of like disagree with them, sort of. So the game keeps rolling whether you have a successful chat or not, which I think is really interesting. But I find that the card system is kind of frustrating. Maybe this will change as I go further, because like you said, we don't have very many cards. But it's like somebody will say something empathetic, and then I don't have a card that matches it, and I'm like, well, if I was talking to this person, I would just say that, and I don't have a card, so I have to say something that's bad, even though I don't want to. and that doesn't feel very good, because I've had a couple conversations where it just goes poorly, and the person like is like whatever, and they bounce, and because
Yeah.
I just can't have that chat, and it's kind of frustrating because it's kind of like a deck builder scenario, but in those kind of games, when you're using cards to do combat, well, I don't have a bullet card, or I don't have a gun card, or I don't have a sword card. I got to do something else. It's just combat, so that kind of makes sense. But when you're just talking to a person, it's frustrating to be like, I just want to say this thing, but I can't because I don't have a card for that, and I have to be rude even though I don't want to. I don't know that it's necessarily squaring in my head exactly, and I'm struggling with it a little bit. I feel a little bit frustrated by it.
Let me give you an idea of what I think the game might be doing, and I might
Mm.
be wrong because I am going to keep playing it. But is I had that same feeling like you meet a couple people and they essentially get mad at you, and
They
you're
do,
like,
yeah.
they're like, no, you're like, I wanted to be nice, but I didn't have the card for it,
Right.
and but I think they did it on purpose because if you look at the trajectory of you not having any cards to like really kind of be.
Yeah. Yeah.
Certain ways there, and then they give them to you for the first time, so that your second run or your second trip you're going to have more options, and near the end of that trip I felt pretty like what's the word, equipped to handle more conversations.
Yeah.
And in the beginning I was like just screwed because I'm like, okay. And also as you go on a trip they throw in fatigue, so then you get these cards that basically can't be played or they don't do anything because you're too tired.
Yeah.
And that was kind of weird. I feel you on the card system being a little weird because I want to have more control over such a narrative-driven game.
Yeah, exactly.
So I get that, but I think the second trip, and I'll do an update on it, and maybe next episode or the episode after, it might change around where I have enough resources to be able to pick how I want that conversation to go.
Yeah. I mean, it kind of makes sense. I mean, if your character, I mean, you don't get a lot of information on your character, right? You kind of just roll with it after that one brief intro. And I mean, I guess the concept is, hey, you're a person who maybe doesn't have a lot of conversation skills, or maybe doesn't have a lot of life experience to be able to meet people on their own terms when they come to you. Maybe you're not able to really read people very well. And so that means that sometimes conversations are hard to negotiate. Like, I get it, and I think it's cool. I just find it very, very limiting at the beginning, and because you only basically have like two kinds of cards, and I was just like, okay, like I get it, but I feel like I maybe would have a few more options if I was this person, if I was going out in the world on my own. I mean, it's interesting. I'm going to keep playing it for sure, and I definitely hope that it expands. I want more options. I want more nuance to it, because so far I think it's a cool idea, but I'm not feeling like it's really clicking with me. So I got to put more time into it.
We'll both do it, and we'll both, maybe 2 episodes from now, we'll come back to it and give you an update. But also, I will say, I do like the art style, and I do like the kind of feel that I get from it, because when you do a little trip and you come back, you sell these items, which is kind of cool. You put the items you found for sale. Also, when you have better conversations, you sometimes get more things.
Yeah, you do.
You'll get something from somebody or get more information. And I just felt cool when I came back and I put those stuff up for sale, and then it tells you who bought them, which is kind of interesting. So it's very like adorable, and it's also got a little mystery in there because you don't know what happened to your mom, because like there's some shady characters out there and you got to go figure out what's going on there. So yeah, it's intriguing enough for me, and it felt like a weird pick. Not like my normal weird picks, but
Yeah, I wouldn't have guessed you would have played this. This definitely seems more, kind of roguelike, card-based narrative. Seems kind of more in my basket. I'm glad you picked it, though. I'm glad we talked about it. It is very interesting, and I feel like maybe it's just a slow burn, and right now I'm just like personally in the mood to get, I just want to just get to it. Let's just do it. Let's do it. So it may be a little bit of a slow start for me, but I'm definitely interested. I'm definitely going to hang in there. And I had, like I said, plenty of people tell me this was one that I absolutely should be paying attention to. So I'm going to give it the benefit of the doubt. Let's circle back on this in another week or two, and we'll see where we ended up.
and not to overuse it because I use it almost I think every episode now, but it feels like Night in the Woods with cards.
It a little bit does, yeah, it definitely
You know what I
does.
mean?
Same kind of similar visuals, vaguely similar visuals, same kind of chatty tone, same kind of like quasi-depressive teenage angst going on kind of a thing. It's in the same basket, I think. Yeah, for sure. All right, that was Signs of the Sojourner. You're on PS4/5. I am on Switch. It's also, I believe, on everything, so it's out now. I'm going to take a little bit of a divergence from our usual selections. I received a couple codes that are intentionally for kids games. I did not request these, but PR sent these over to me, and I'm like, well, these are games for kids, and I have kid, so I will give kid these games and see what happens, right?
Yeah.
So I recruited my son Whitaker, who is 11, going to be 12 soon. And I said, hey, kid, here are some codes. Please check these out and then let me know what you think. Sometimes he comes on the pod to report. He was a little busy with his home coronavirus lockdown schedule. Had some things going on. Didn't want to pop on the pod this week, but I have his full report. So the first game I'm going to cover is called Bodyquest: Adventure Around the Human Body. This is a top isometric sort of a not Doom, but a Diablo sort of a viewpoint where you play a doctor who goes inside a human body to heal the various things that are going wrong and to collect nanobots, which are going to be used to heal the body. And
it's like the future.
It is kind of the future, near future. So, but the weird thing is you have a hoverboard when you're going around inside the human body. So you were like an extreme doctor because you're hoverboarding inside the human body. You go around and collect a bunch of stuff, just like doodads. It's kind of busy work. But then you also have to like heal little broken parts. And there's lots of quizzes. This is pretty informational. So like you'll get to a little computer terminal inside the body, and it'll have a diagram, and it'll be like, please name the bones. And they'll give you like a list of the bone names. You got to match them up. Or they'll have questions about nerves or muscle systems and stuff. Pretty educational, I think. And it's pretty easy to approach, where it doesn't feel like you're taking a test, or it doesn't feel like you're studying. I mean, it feels like you're kind of doing some extreme hoverboarding, and then you take a break and answer a couple questions about muscle groups and stuff like that. Personally, I did not like the graphics too much. They felt a little bit low rent to me. My son wasn't too bothered. He thought it looked fine. He liked going around inside the body. There are a couple things you have to dodge. Like sometimes you'll see like these little viruses shooting around, and he's like, I didn't like the viruses because they were going a little bit too fast and I got hit by them too often. And he thought the questions were good, but he didn't click with it a lot. And I think that maybe just because it wasn't like super actiony. I think this is actually a pretty good game, and it's really educational, especially if you're sitting down with your kid. So I would probably recommend this game, not as something to give to my kid to play on his own, but probably to sit with him like in lieu of like study time, right? So like if you don't want to read a book or you don't want to do homework or something, no problem. Let's do some Bodyquest, and you're going to be learning, but it's also like it's fun enough to feel like you're playing something. You're not suffering, but at the same time, you are legit learning like actual like anatomy, medicine, physiology, facts, which I thought was pretty good balance. So an educational game that I would assign as like fun homework, and not really something that he would just play like on his own, if that makes sense.
That would be considered edutainment.
Yes, edutainment, exactly. No, you got it. You got it.
Edutainment.
Yes, I think this is a very good example of like pretty well done edutainment. I really didn't like the graphics. I did not care for the graphics, but other than that, I thought it was pretty well done. So that is Bodyquest: Adventure Around the Human Body. Parents who are listening, maybe consider this one if you want to enrich your child. If you're still at lockdown at home or don't have a lot of options because of coronavirus, you need something enriching to do, this is a good choice. The other game that I want to bring up is called My Universe: Pet Clinic, Cats and Dogs. And this one, again, kind of like a Diablo-esque perspective. It looks a little bit like 2 Point Hospital, or like one of those kind of sim games where you have a building and you walk around and patients kind of walk around and you kind of collect money from them. Basically, you are the veterinarian and you open up a clinic on your own. You open up for business, and when the start happens, you just have like an exam room and that's all you have. You see a couple cats and dogs on your first day and get some money from it. When they come in, you do like an exam. So there's like lots of little mini games. That's what the exam is like. So like you'll get a little stethoscope, and it'll be like, check out his heart. And then you see these two pictures of like cardiograms, and then it's like, are these cardiograms the same or are they different? And you have to kind of see, are they the same or are they different? And then there's one where you like palpate the dog, check his tummy, you're going to push a little like a rhythm game. There's like a couple other little things, like there's a bunch of mini games where instead of like actually physically examining the cat or dog, you're doing the equivalent of it. And then there's all sorts of little problems, like maybe you're picking ticks off a dog, maybe the dog is just scared, maybe the dog is he's got a broken bone or something like that. So you kind of do this thing. The more dogs and cats you see, the more money you get. You expand your clinic, and I think he's got a pharmacy, and I believe he just opened a surgery center. Of course, you can always pet the cats and dogs at any time you would like. I don't believe it's possible for cats or dogs to die, so that's not a thing. It's very safe, colorful, soft edges all around, really engaging. All the mini games are pretty easy and clear to do. The one negative my son said about this game, he liked everything about it, except that some of the exams have a time limit, and he was 100% not okay with having a time limit. Where
Ugh.
like the dog has like scratches on his arm, you got to put 3 band-aids on, and they give you like surprisingly stringent time limits. I was really shocked at how quick you had to work. And you get graded on it. The higher grade, the more money, of course. So he was like, I don't like these time limits. But other than that, I think this game is great. And he had a really good time with it. He's been coming back to that one on his own, where I think it is less educational than Bodyquest, but it is more fun for him. And he's also really inclined to like pets in general. So he is really clicking with My Universe Pet Clinic Cats and Dogs. He likes that one quite a bit. He also did like Bodyquest, but that was more like learning than fun. So both of these are winners, I think, but slightly different flavors.
Yeah, time limits. Come on, get them out of here. I mean, especially if you're like, I don't know. It seems like a cool thing to be learn about being a veterinarian and all the different things you can do. And I mean, I know they're mini games, but I guess I just hate timers in general.
I do too, and it just doesn't really make a lot of sense. You're playing this game because you like cats and dogs, because you want to help them heal. It seems kind of weird to kind of grade you and then put like an economy attached to that, because you need to earn money to like keep your business going and to expand the business. It's just a weird thing, and it's not terrible. He just was like, I would rather the time limit not be here. So
yeah,
not huge, but there you go. Parents out there listening, check out both of these. I think they're both pretty good, and I know that we all need some stuff to do because coronavirus is still a thing. So maybe check these out.
Edutainment
Corner. There you go. All right, Carlos, back to you. We were provided a code from a publisher for you to evaluate a game called Can't Drive This. I believe you're playing it on PC. Is that right?
Yeah, I'm playing on Steam with my Xbox controller.
All right, tell us about Can't Drive This.
This will be a short one.
Because you couldn't drive it?
I can't drive it. That's it. That's the end of the review. It said can't drive this, and I was like, yep, I can't, and you win. So that's the end of the review. No, it's a top-down car game, kind of like tabletop racing. Did you ever play that?
Like a Micro Machine sort of a thing.
Yeah,
maybe?
yeah.
Okay,
Totally.
Gotcha.
Not super small, like kind of in between, like a Mario Kart style.
But like
car.
an overhead perspective sort of.
Yeah,
thing.
yeah. And the car mechanics are pretty good, but basically the whole idea of the game is it's really focused on a co-op type experience, which is why I'm not going to play it too much longer. But they do have a solo option as well. What the hook is you have a car like that, a little truck car you can customize, and the track in front of you is not there yet. You have to place it down. You have to build the track in front of you.
Okay.
And everywhere else is just, a bottomless pit. So it's like you can't really go anywhere besides the track that's in front of you. So once you start, and let's just talk about the solo version. You start the game, you get random tile pieces when you put them down in front of you. So you're
putting the tile down yourself?
Yeah, so you're putting the tile down, and then you essentially kind of a mini pause and going back to the driving section.
Okay.
And you drive until the point where you haven't put tiles down. You go back to the building section.
And it pauses when you do that. So there's not like it's not like you're trying to juggle two things at once.
Well, you are, because the whole idea of the game, again, built for really co-op, is that your car also has to keep driving, or if it doesn't drive for too much longer, or if it stops for too long, you'll blow up.
Is it a shark?
No, it's a car or a truck. Or whatever.
Sharks can't stop swimming or else they die. Is it like you have a shark car where you got can't stop driving? Is it speed? Can't go less than 60 or you blow up.
Yeah. So in the tutorial, which by the way I was going to mention, is very good because it's like a slideshow, but it's got a narration and it's very funny.
Okay.
And the narrator's like, "Yeah, I know. It's a slideshow. Just deal with it." And then they actually mention speed. They're like, "Okay, our game doesn't have Keanu, but it's kind of like that movie."
Go there. Okay.
Yeah,
cool.
they really do. So anyways, in the solo mode, you're doing that kind of switching back and forth, which again, you don't know what the tiles are going to be. They could be like a ramp. It could be like water. It could be a turn. So you have to like match the turn with another turn. And you basically keep going until you get to like time extenders. Because again, timers. There's timers in this game. And you're trying to get as far as you can go, essentially, or get to the very end. And it's like fucking hard as a solo person. But it is fun because you don't know what kind of tile you're going to get. So I just kept doing it for a while, and I played it, and it was enjoyable and weird and sometimes frustrating. But the co-op mode is really where it's at. So the co-op mode is side by side. Someone has like at least in the Steam version, someone has the mouse, is controlling the mouse, and they're building stuff in front of you, right? And the person who's got the controller, let's say, is driving. So you're kind of doing it both at the same time.
Is it in that mode? I mean, maybe you don't know this, maybe you can't answer, but I'm wondering if you're doing the co-op, are you supposed to be like, is the person putting the track trying to make you crash, or are they trying to help you get further?
I don't know yet because there's also online and there's also like capture the flag type game. So there's definitely competition in this. Like it's built for competition. And so I can see basically in a co-op setting or in a multiplayer setting, people trying to like fuck you up. I think that's like a big part of it. Mm-hmm. So, but then there's also kind of a co-op, I think, trying to help each other mode. And then there's a solo mode, which you're obviously just trying to help yourself, right? You're not trying to screw yourself up. That would be really weird and twisted. Hey, Carlos, what can you do with this? Oh, look, I gave you a water. You're going to drown, fucker. And I'm like, oh,
I like how it got really dark all of a sudden.
I know. I was like, I'm going to take this review in a weird place. Carlos, why would you do that to yourself? I don't know. Why did you do it yourself? Carlos, shut up. You shut up. Deal with this lava. All right. Anyways, that's what I did all night. This game is weird. It's definitely not something I expected. I thought it was something quite different, actually. It is kind of a mixture of, if you play it solo, there's kind of only one way to go, and it's kind of gets boring because there's not like a campaign, you know?
Okay, so it's just about the action. There's nothing.
It's about the moment-to-moment action, but as a co-op, I really can't talk to it enough because I didn't play full-on co-op or kind of competition way, but I can see that being fun. And the mechanics and the physics of the actual vehicles were good. So it's kind of a question mark review for me. I think I probably will try some co-op and see if that's like super exciting. But I was kind of more into like it having like a more of a solo play for me, because I liked the idea when I was like, I really looked at it, of like putting tiles down. I think that's kind of fun. So it's cool and it's inventive. But I think the real power of it lies in the multiplayer.
Excellent. Okay. Well, it's a shame that you could have tried that out, but that sounds like probably a good time. So maybe heads up to people out there who have friends, or maybe I guess if they want to just jump on the online and maybe they can find some rando to play with. But interesting idea. That is, can't drive this, playing it on the PC.
Yeah, and I'll also try to drive it, by the way, for the developer, because I do want to try that multiplayer. So
yeah,
we had a ton of games this week, but the 2 episodes from now, I'll go back and try some of that multiplayer.
Give it a shot. See what happens when you actually do drive this. We'll see what happens. Okay, one more game from me, and then we will get to the last two. We also do have listener Q&A. I swear we're going to get to it this week. We have a question from AJ Small from Game Critics. He sent it to us like 2 weeks ago, and then I forgot, and then I was going to do it last week. We had a long show, didn't get to it. I swear we will get to it this week.
We'll see. We will. No promises.
No. Word is bond. Word is bond. I said it out loud. There we go. Okay, getting back to games really quick. Bishoujo Battle Cyber Panic. I'm mispronouncing that. Bishoujo Battle Cyber Panic. I apologize to any Japanese listeners out there. I slaughtered that word. I'm sure that I did. This is basically like Kix, QIX. Remember that from way back in the day?
Oh, yes, I do, because I'm old.
Yeah, I am also old. Kix and this Battle Cyber Panic is basically, you have a picture on the playfield, like it's an arcade style game, and there's like an outline of like a girl. In this particular game, they are girls who are like in military gear, and they also have like rocket packs and cyber arms and guns and stuff strapped to them. They're all like ready for combat. And so what you do is you have to capture the playfield by drawing lines around the parts on the screen that are grayed out. So like you can't see the girl, you just see the outline of the girl. And so you take your little character, they have to like follow the line of the outside of the picture, and then you go inside the picture and try to capture territory for yourself. I know I'm doing a terrible job explaining this, but like basically you have to go reclaim as much of the picture as you can, while enemies are kind of bouncing around inside the picture. If they touch you, you die. If they touch you before you finish claiming a piece of the territory, you die. So you have to be very judicious about, okay, the enemies are on the other side of the picture. I'm going to go to this opposite side. I'm going to carve a few chunks out of this and reveal the picture behind it. And once you get to 75% of the picture revealed, then you win, and then the whole picture comes through, and then you move on to the next stage. There's no story. There's no dialogue or text. It's simply about having all these pictures of these anime girls with guns and military gear and just like revealing those pictures. In terms of straight up gameplay, I mean, Kicks is a fairly classic game if you're old enough to remember it. It kind of went away for a while, but it pops up every now and then, and I think you see it a lot in the indie space these days because I think it's something that a lot of developers can do without too much effort, and it provides experiences like this. Just doing the whole run around and claim the board back is pretty exciting, and I think it does a pretty good job. There's power-ups, enemies, different kinds of enemies. So just from an arcade perspective, I think the Kicks style gameplay is pretty good. As far as the other half of the gameplay, I mean, the art is fine. It's just, pretty standard, straightforward anime art. From the cover art and from the description of the game, I wasn't sure if this was going to be a sexy game. Maybe this was going to be... In fact, I bought this because thinking it might be good for our spicy episode. But as far as I can tell, there's no nudity in the game. It's just girls... I mean, they're wearing combat jackets and helmets, and they got big guns and metal wings and stuff like that. So as far as I can tell, there's no actual nudity in the game. I did read in the notes for the game that there are alternate outfits if you do some of the, I don't know, extra hard challenges or something. I'm not that far in the game, so maybe they go into bikinis at the end or something. I'm not sure. But there is no nudity, which honestly is kind of okay because this is one of those games where the girls look a little bit on the young side for me. Like, I'm not down with that. And I know it's like a whole thing in anime where this girl can look like she's 12 and someone will say, well, she's half dragon and she's actually 3,000 years old and it's totally fine to get a boner for her.
Shit.
Which I 100% do not agree with. I mean, we've said in the show many times, we don't have a problem with nudity or pornography or anything, but like appropriate and consensual and, like grown ass women, yes, that's fine. Thumbs up. But like women that look like they're like, like barely legal or below, like I'm not too cool with that.
And I can't even play an RPG like that. We talk about it. If an RPG has a chibi girl in it, I'm like out. I can't do it.
Yeah. So I'm actually fine that these girls are not naked because I think some of them look fine. They look like, like young adult sounds creepy. Like adults who are not over 30. But some of them are a little bit on the young side, and I do not care for that. I do not condone that. So I'm kind of okay that their clothes are still on. That's totally fine.
My question is, are there enemies like in Kicks?
Yeah, there are enemies bouncing around the field. So as you're reclaiming the territory, there will be like, spiders bouncing around or some little rocket will come towards you. So you got to be careful. If you are on the edges of the picture, you're invincible. But once you go inside the picture, you're vulnerable.
Yeah.
So you got to yeah, exactly. Claim that territory and don't get touched. If you get touched, you die. You start off with like 5 lives or something. So it's not super hard so far. But again, I'm not very far in, and there's like 5 or 6 levels above where I'm at right now. And then apparently there's some kind of secret hard mode or something. So it's totally fine. If you like Kicks, or if you don't know what Kicks is, check it out. I think it's, from an arcade perspective, it's fine. If you like anime girls with guns and rockets and helmets, then it's also pretty cool. Not a spicy game, at least as far as I can tell. So there you go.
It's so niche, actually. Just thinking about it. Like, if you like girls in these specific outfits and they're not naked...
And you also like Kicks.
Also like Kicks, which you've never heard of ever because you're a young person and you don't know what that is. You might like this game. But here's the thing. It does bring back memories of Kicks. And the enemy in Kicks, the original, I think I played it for Atari or... I don't remember. Nintendo or something. Commodore 64.
I think it must have been NES, dude. I think it was NES.
I think I played on Commodore 64, actually.
Oh, yeah, it could be.
Anyways, that guy can go fuck off. Because he is terrible. I call him he. It's just an it. But it would like move around and you could never tell really where it was because it would like expand in size and it would get small and then big. And I would be like, bullshit. That was one of the first times, to go on a tangent, that I called bullshit on a game. I was like, I did that. No. You didn't get me. You didn't get me, Mr. Out of nowhere. Your arms came out and got me.
Yeah, I remember that being pretty bullshitty as well. So this is not nearly as bullshitty as that in terms of mechanics. It feels much more fair and much more, the enemies are pretty clear about what they're doing. So it's all about your skill, which is fine. That's a good place to be. So
all right,
there you go. That was Bishoujo Battle Cyber Panic, playing that on Switch. I think it was like $4 or $5. It wasn't a crazy purchase. So, all right, let's get back to you, Carlos. We got a couple things from you now. In fact, 3 in a row from Carlos. It is Carlos Freight Train happening right now. Yes, it is. First up, let's talk about Mundaun. Just came out a couple days ago, or maybe even today. It's on PS4. It's on everything. And it's basically a first-person, hand-drawn graphics, I guess, sort of a horror game where everything is kind of brown and pencil-y. Does that sound about right?
Yeah, that's it. And that's
There
it.
you
Let's
go.
go move to the next game. You got it. Yeah, it's a first-person adventure game in a kind of hand-drawn style. It's got a creepy vibe. It's not necessarily a horror game, but it's definitely spooky and creepy. I think even you could handle it.
I don't
Um,
know about that.
I don't know. It's not that bad, especially because it is hand-drawn. Even though there's some creepy elements, it's not like ever really gonna scare you. But it's pretty spooky. So basically, you start the game going to find out what happened to your grandfather because he had died and he owned a farm and a house, and so you're trying to like go to the land and to kind of figure out what happened, and also kind of just mourn a little bit. And so
Spoiler:
kind of
pigs got him.
it was the pigs.
He found the pig pen.
Yeah, there's no pigs in this game, but it definitely is that kind of awesome dark spooky vibe. I haven't played anything like it when it comes to the graphics because it is its own hand-drawn style, all like dark browns and black and gray and anyways, when you get there, it is definitely a straight up adventure game. And my love-hate relationship with adventure games.
Are you talking like find item, combine item with other items sort of thing?
Yeah, definitely. You're doing some of that stuff. And the positives I'll say first is it definitely is spooky and in the way of like you don't know really what's going on, and it like things can happen that are supernatural really quickly. So a good example is you first get there, and this is something that the spoiler to draw you in. You're trying to like look around the farm area and see what happened, and you find like this burnt farm, and you're finding some items and picking up adventure clues, etc. But then you see this guy painting on a hill, and he's just painting, and you go over to him, and as you get closer to him, it actually morphs the world, and the painting like kind of just gets bigger and bigger, and then you go inside the painting. And it's a trippy moment. And it gets dark, and if your headphones are on and it's at nighttime, it's pretty weird. It's like someone mentioned it's Lynchian. So it's kind of like kind of a Twin Peaks feel or something, or Mulholland Drive.
Sure.
And so you're in this dark space all of a sudden, and then you talk to your dead grandfather, and
Was he inside the painting?
Well, he was inside the painting, which is inside the house that was burnt down. So it's like you basically relive a memory. You know what I mean?
Okay.
This all makes sense when you play
I'm
it.
just laughing because it's like the grandfather's inside the painting, which is inside the house, which is inside your mind, which is inside the sack of grain, which is inside the house that Jack built. It's kind of one of those things.
It is. And we're all living inside atoms in a virtual reality simulation.
It's all a snow globe.
Yeah.
It's all a snow globe.
So in this burnt snow globe, it's definitely more of a kind of a dark emotional moment. You're talking to someone, you lost, and then they're like basically giving you mysterious clues that you should probably like figure out what really went on, what's really going on in this town. So then the idea is that it's supposed to kind of get you excited to go do stuff, but a lot of the stuff next is like adventure item stuff, like find this thing, put it together with this thing. Where is that other thing? I don't know. Let's go over that hill. And in a lot of these adventure games, you move slow, so it's like
physically walking slow,
first person slow. So, but what was interesting, back to that idea again of many times in my life, it takes place in the game I'm playing. I was just about to warm up some coffee, and in the game you have to find coffee and water and a pot, and you can actually like make coffee. And so I made coffee in real life, and then was making coffee in this game. Just
interesting.
It.
So it's like that thing you mentioned earlier, real life mirrored in the game.
And the character was like, coffee, and I was like, coffee. Anywho, it was kind of real. At some point, I met a girl. She was singing creepily. There were goats. I was like, why are those goats up there on the hill with that creepy girl? But the problem with this game and with many adventure games...
I knew there was a problem coming.
There's a problem coming. And the problem is going to be in the next game, too. So, spoiler. But adventure games, I have a love-hate relationship. The hate part is just let me into the story quicker and don't block me out because of puzzles. Because this is what happens. This game is creepy. It threw me into a painting. There's a girl on the mountaintop, and she's got goats, and she's singing. I'm like, what's up with her? And I'm really starting to get into like the mystery of it, and I don't know what to do next, Brad.
Because you don't have a narrative thread to follow?
Nothing. I got nothing to go on.
It's all just weird and random?
There's no time. Like I thought like, it'd become sunset, and now I'd have to do something. I think it did get darker. Maybe I need to play it for like another 40 minutes for something to happen. But I couldn't find the key to the car. I couldn't find the thing to the thing. I couldn't get into the cave, and I'm just sitting there.
I'm already shutting down over here, dude. You've lost me. I'm already done with this one.
But you see, the positives are they built a really cool world, and I was like I was like, ooh, this weird little it's in German voiceover and subtitled, and I was like just in. I was like, this is kind of watching like a dark indie film, and I went into a painting, but they lost me at the end where I didn't know what to do next.
Not great. It sounds, I mean, granted I haven't played this game. I'm just talking out of my ass here, but like it sounds like, interesting environment, weird atmosphere. Maybe this would have been better off as kind of more of a walking simulator rather than a puzzle game because I mean, I don't know about you, dude, but like searching for like items randomly is like one of my least favorite things in any game ever. Like it just feels like an incredible waste of time and I get frustrated. So if they don't have a narrative thread guiding you through, and if you literally didn't know what to do next, and it sounds like it could have been anything. I got to go get the thing from the goat, or I got to sing with the woman, or I got to make another cup of, I mean, make another cup of coffee. Who knows, right? If you don't logically know what to do next, and you're just waiting for something random to happen, that to me is like, forget it. There's no way I'm going to play that game.
It's frustrating because there's such good atmosphere they built, and I wasn't like scared, but I was also very intrigued. So will I probably go back at least once more? Yes. Because maybe like I'm just an idiot and like 5 minutes from now, right? Like the sun goes down and the monsters come out or something. But I'm with you. Like if an adventure game doesn't push me forward in some way, then yeah, I don't want to just keep running around in circles.
Yeah, you need some kind of clue. Just random blind searching is the fucking like worst thing ever. So all right, that was Mundaun, Mundaun. You're playing it on what, PS5?
Yeah, PS4, PS5.
All right, PS4/5. You also are bringing something that's brand new. I think it came out either today or maybe really recently. It's called In Rays of Light. I was just looking at it on the PS5 store today. I don't know anything about it other than it's first person and like ruined buildings, and it looks like you're doing some walking. That's all I know about it.
Yeah, so this is on my radar because of a little tangent. PS5 has that great service I think we talked about, or like great new feature where it just shows brand new games coming. And it'll make a game show up in the library, even though it's not available. And
I actually hate that feature.
You do?
I wish they would separate it out. Like, if it was its own thing, that would be fine. But I feel like it's mixed in there, and I don't like that.
It isn't mixed. It's always the top. So it's
but if you go to the
top.
list of games, sometimes it seems to me like some of those things. Maybe I'm wrong, but when I look at the list, sometimes it seems like I go click on a thing, and like the game to the right and the left are already out, but the one in the middle is coming soon, and I don't like that.
Yeah, I guess what you mean. Sometimes but in general, it goes from top down. So if you're on PS5 and you're filtering games by new games, the new ones that just announced coming soon, all that'll be on the top. And sometimes, yeah, in the middle there'll be one that just.
I mean, keep it. I like announcements, but keep it separate. Like on the Switch, it's like the coming soon is like a totally separate tab, and when I feel like I want to see the new stuff that's not out yet, I go to that tab. But when I look at the main store. Just show me what I can buy. Don't show me shit I can't buy.
Well, what I like about obviously is the favoriting, right, and making a little put it on your playlist or whatever you want.
I do like favorites, yes.
So I did that with this game, and I'd seen it for a while, and it was again one of the early indie PS5 games because I don't think it's on PS4. I think it's just PS5. And I was like, oh, it has look good graphics, post-apocalyptic type feel, and that's all I knew about it. Similar to Rada Laika Strikes Again.
Oh no!
It's not Rada Laika, but this is made by the guy who made Seventh Sector.
I don't know that game.
You do. We both played it. Wasn't that the electricity game?
What? I don't understand. Let me Google it real quick. I don't know.
Okay, I thought there was a game. I thought it was Seventh Sector where you play as like a current of electricity, and we both like really were frustrated by it.
Oh, it's. Oh yes, I think I know what you're calling.
Is that the game?
I don't think that's the right title. Is it the title?
Yeah, it is. Seventh Sector.
Oh,
and we hated that. We were very frustrated with that.
That was okay. See, I had deleted that from my mental hard drive because that game was super frustrating to me. Yes, right. The same guy made this game.
Same guy.
I'm out.
Okay, that's it. End of the review.
End of segment.
This isn't a very positive podcast for me when it comes to games, but the last one is. So there's a spoiler. So I love the graphics, and basically what it is kind of a What Remained of Edith Finch and what's it called? Rapture. Everybody's going to the Rapture.
Yeah.
Just kind of walking around, seeing stuff.
First person simulator.
Yeah. And I was okay with it. I was kind of like wanting like a ruined city to go around, and see. And it takes place in Russia, and like you're really weird. Like you're in a school building and you're kind of like piecing together puzzles. Again, puzzles, adventure game. I can get along with it if you give me a few things like. Give me some narrative, give me some places to go.
Is this again like find item, use on item, that kind of thing?
More like find stuff to help you figure out like passwords and stuff.
Okay.
Which isn't as bad, because it's not like you're not. I didn't so far. I didn't combine any items. I did find a wrench or something, and it helped me open a door, and that was fine and very easy.
Sure.
So the positives are, the atmosphere is really cool. The graphics are really nice. They're not PS5 like specific graphics, but you can tell that they were like swinging for the fences. It's really nice looking lighting and stuff, and it's got a cool vibe. It's got really cool like piano music. That comes in here and there, and you feel like you're in this post-apocalyptic Russia. And the building that they put you in is not the only building. You can leave it and just go around the open world a little bit, which is surprising. I thought they would just like lock me in a place and I can't get out. But the doors are open. You can just go outside and start exploring there. So There's a lot to explore. The problems are... Here we go. Sounds like a broken record. First off, the walking is even slower than Mundaun.
Oh, man. Okay.
Even slower. And I was like, is this possible? How did I put these two games back to back?
Slow walking. So there's no sprint at all?
No sprint. And when you hit the button that you think is sprint, which is click, the right analog or left analog, it says subtitles on or off. And I was like, no, I want to go faster. Secondly, you have a jump, but it jumps smaller than the other jump in Mundaun. It's like you basically you don't even
stand
jump
up on your tippy toes or something.
Yeah, you're standing on your toes, and you're like, why did you even give me a jump? So that in itself is inexcusable. Secondly, the camera sensitivity. You know how whenever they put that in a game, it's usually not a good sign. Or like I know it's supposed to help sometimes people who have like maybe motion sickness or whatever,
Sure.
For me, it wasn't a good sign because it was from the beginning. It was already too slow when I moved the right analog.
Oh God. Okay. Yeah.
So I had to play with it to be like a 1.3. Is it a 1.3?
Pretty granular settings, huh?
Yeah, it was like. And then, do I want negative 0.5? Wait, maybe I want negative 0.5. And that was fucking not fun. Then I didn't figure out any of the puzzles in the building. Any of them.
Oh no, none of them.
None of them. So I left the building.
Oh, dude.
And I saw a bunch of numbers, and they were for some sort of code, but I couldn't figure it out. And I wasn't going to go to YouTube. And so I walked out outside, and it was cool out there. But I was just similar to Mundaun. I was like, what am I supposed to do next? I don't know that puzzle in the building. I can't walk very fast. And is it 0.1? Is it 0.5?
And if you're going to make people go back and forth and look for clues, look for items, you got to make it like tolerable, right? Like I know it kind of reminds me of like Everybody Goes to the Rapture. A lot of people were complaining about the walking speed in that game because there was a lot of ground to cover and it just took fucking forever to walk. I mean, if you're in a walking simulator, I realize that you need to simulate the walking, but if you're going to be going back and forth looking for things, like don't make a player waste their time by simply just pushing the stick forward and just like, snoozing while they wait to get to, the next destination. Like make it peppy, like make it move.
And here's a quick fix, by the way. Any developers listening, for some reason, if you wanted unqualified advice from me, I'm qualified, motherfucker. I play these games all the time. When you do these games, if you want someone to like wait for a moment or get a beat or a narrative beat or some music to come in, just pause the game there. But like, let me run around like a madman the rest of the time, because you know what I mean? Like if there's a certain moment, I get it. You want like them to feel a moment or hear some narrative, like limit my movements. Then you're like, oh wow, I can only go slow now because I have to hear something. Sure. And then back to fucking normal, because no one walks like this. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, unless part of the story is like, you're missing a leg or something. I mean, that would be kind of a weird reveal, but yeah.
It's not that. So I'm so frustrated with both of those because I'll say the positives that they both set up really cool environments. I was like very interested in this post-apocalyptic Russia, and I was very interested in this hand-drawn Mundaun, but I can't do it, man. I can't.
I don't think you should. Both of these are out for me. I'm not even going to try either one of these. These do not sound like my jam in any way. So that is a down vote for me, and it sounds pretty much like a down vote from you too.
Yeah, let's move on.
Moving on to the final game of the show. We do have Q&A coming up. Just one question today. Outer Worlds. The Outer Worlds, a game I'm going to come back to, a game that you have really greatly enjoyed. Just came out with a brand new DLC released today. I forget the name of it. It's like Murder something. What is the name of the title of the new DLC?
It is a Murder on Eridon.
Okay, and this is a new expansion to the game. It's not a standalone. You do need the base game to play this. Tell us about this expansion, Carlos. Although I guess it's just came out today. You're probably not too far.
I'm a little ways. First off, I'll say that I love Outer Worlds. I'm excited for you to play it. I think everybody should play it, especially if you like Fallout. Obsidian basically is Fallout in my mind. It's really, really great. I went back because I knew the new DLC was coming out and basically cleared out all the side missions. So similar to Cyberpunk, I've finished every side mission in Outer Worlds, and even did a companion quest for Pavarti, who you don't know her yet, but you will like her. And I
That's
won't
everybody's
spoil
favorite
that.
character. I know that everybody loves her.
Oh, the side quest was so fun. Anywho, I played the Peril on Gorgon, which is the first DLC.
Yep.
And that was pretty cookie cutter. It's like you go to a place. It's not spoiling. You go to a place. There's monsters. There's something to figure out, but it's not really about that. It's about just destroying things, you know.
Sure.
And then get kind of a story beat at the end. That story beat at the end kind of leads into the story beat a bit. And it is a new story totally, and it's more of a murder mystery for real. It definitely has elements of investigation, and you get a new device that allows you to, scan things. So there's a lot of that, which is new. And by the way, good example. They want you to slow down. They want you to look at stuff in the environment. You can still go fast, but when you're scanning, then you're scanning.
Sure.
You don't have to, limit people's movement. I'm just looking at you, adventure games. So it's really cool. It's about basically finding. So there's a woman who is an actress, and she plays in these kind of, they call them the serials, and a lot of people in the Outer worlds watch these shows, and they're kind of mysteries and stuff, and they're like soap operas, and people love them. And she's like a big star, and she supposedly gets murdered. We'll say that. And it's a murder mystery, and you have to figure out who did it and what was their motivation. And in order to do that, you have to go to a separate planet, which is a new planet that unlocks from this DLC. And on the planet, there is, well, let's just say mystery, but kind of a corporation, and some weird stuff is going on. That's all I'll say.
All right.
It's a perfect mixture of combat, still leveling up, and still doing the kind of stuff you like in I was going to say Fallout, Outer Worlds, but also a lot more investigation and a lot of story. And they're really great with dialogue and dialogue choices. Think Fallout. It's really great. It's already great, and I urge you and everybody else to watch the trailer for the DLC, because it's a song. It's like a song, and it's really, really cool. It kind of gives you the feel of what this DLC is going to be. I'm all the way back in. All the way back in.
Excellent. I'm looking forward to it. I think I'm definitely in more of a mood for it this year, so that sounds good. And of course, it's going to be running 60 frames per second on the X.
Buttery smooth.
And going to be able to do these DLCs. Corey Motley, former host or co-host of this show, is reviewing this for us at Game Critics. And one of his big complaints about this game, or about the DLC specifically, he loves it, by the way. But one of his big complaints was he had already finished the game, so that in order to play the DLC, he had to go back to a save that was from before the end. And he said it felt really weird, like narratively. He wished that the DLC took place after the end, so that you could just continue with the story as normal, but that's not how it goes. So that was his one big complaint. Otherwise, he thought it was great, and I'm looking forward to being able to starting the campaign and then going through the DLC before the end, so that I don't get that weird narrative hiccup of, oh, I already know what happens, but I got to go backwards in order to play this extra mission, which is always an awkward way to do it. I really prefer that people do it after, like continue after the credits. That's what I prefer.
Please. We talked about with Cyberpunk. It's the exact same thing.
Yeah.
Now,
going before the ending is just fucking weird.
I was already ready because I, with Perils of Gorgon or whatever, I had to load up a save.
Yeah.
So I did what I'm doing in Cyberpunk, where I did that a while ago, and just now my game before the ending is my game, right?
Gotcha.
I am the most leveled up I've ever been. I'm not I didn't lose basically progress,
Yeah.
And so I'm the most upgraded character. I'm the most side missions ever done. And then, I can go and beat the game later. But I agree, it is the stupidest way to do it. I get sometimes where they have to, because I know the ending of Outer Worlds, and remember, there's multiple endings to these games.
Sure.
So with Cyberpunk, it's the same thing. My ending, which we still have not talked about,
yes,
which is funny, is really fucking different than the other endings, and I don't think I would be able to keep playing the game. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's the thing is like, yeah, my Outer Worlds ending was quite crazy. So
Yeah. It's just weird because it's just weird that people that come to the game much later, like me, are going to get a much more smoother experience in terms of narrative than people like you who supported the game from the beginning, got the ending, and then have to kind of like mentally undo all that in order to see the new content. Kind of awkward. I mean, I get that maybe they paint themselves in a corner or they have a very specific conclusion to the story. I get it. But at the same time, if you know DLC is coming, I mean, I get there's reasons not to, but I would definitely prefer take that into account and then give us the ability to just continue on. But whatever, that's neither here nor there. Bottom line, Corey thought it was great. It sounds like you really like it a lot. I'm looking forward to getting to it. The Outer Worlds, there it is, and new DLC came out today.
Get it.
All right, that is the end of the games we're going to cover, and we are going to get to the Q&A, which has been woefully delayed for a long time.
Oh, we're out of time. Look at that, we're out of time.
No. We're going to get to it right now. So this is from AJ Small, writer at Game Critics and also listener of the show. He sent us this question, I want to say like 3 weeks ago at least, and I apologize, AJ, for not getting to it quicker. It's totally my bad. But we're going to get to it right now. Carlos, I'm going to read out his question, and then I will let you answer first. Ready?
Okay. Yeah.
You don't know what this is.
I don't know what it is, and I'm going to answer first. Okay, yeah, let's go.
So this is in response to some of the stuff we talked about with CD Projekt Red several episodes ago, and he must have heard that episode and wrote this in. So he said, I understand from the perspective of a fan that the way that people are dogpiling on CD Projekt Red right now is distressing. So again, a couple weeks ago. However, to ignore the wider context of why and also to ignore who is impacted seems a little misrepresentative. It has been revealed that CD Projekt have spent a long time mistreating their staff, and they willfully threw the QA department under the bus when it was discovered that the Xbox One and PS4 versions were substandard, of course talking about Cyberpunk. I think saying you do not care and just want DLC is unfair on what should be the consumer/union outrage. It's also accurate to say that the Xbox One and PS4 versions will eventually be fixed, but we should be asking about what the cost is of that in terms of people continuing to crunch after years of prolonged overtime already. Given the lack of support the employees are getting, it requires sustained pressure from us, the game's audience, to keep CD Projekt Red from wriggling out of this with PR. But you are absolutely right about the hack when they had a bunch of data stolen from them. It basically impacts the employees more than the higher-ups. Fingers will be pointed, and it will end with IT guys being the ones who are taken to task. I think it's important that consumers start to care more about where the sausage comes from here. So my question, as observers of video games, what are historical missteps by companies that have impacted your ability to enjoy a title?
Oh, that was the question took a different turn.
It got a little left turn at the end there.
Can I go back into the turn?
Absolutely.
Because I will say this, having just worked for a mid-tier, let's say, company, working on a pretty big game, I did more closely examine the process, right? And I guess my whole thing with CD Projekt Red is, yeah, there's some things they did really, really wrong. I think in general, the games industry has got this kind of craziness about how much people have to work. You can call it crunch, you can call it whatever. A lot of it, though, is, again, based on deadlines, based on publishers, based on, you call them the higher-ups, but is the people who are helping you fund the game most of the time, right? If you're talking AAA, there's many hands in that pot. Is that the metaphor?
For sure. Yeah, I think so. Yeah,
you know what I mean? And so you have like a middleware company, you have a company that's porting it for you, you have the publisher, you have many stockholders, and in general, things like that. Remember CD Projekt Red, what has like Disney or somebody? Like, it's crazy. They have all these like big companies in on this. This is not an excuse. This is saying like we do have to point the fingers at the right people. And so for me, I'm going to continually not just promote, but I'm going to support the game because I love what the developers themselves did. And being friends with so many developers, I want to support their work. And that just because I want to support a game and the DLC and keep buying stuff from them, I don't think I'm supporting bad decisions. I don't know how to take the real owners of that problem to task. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that's a good point. Let's pause on that for just a second here. I don't mean to derail you, but I do want to kind of add on to what you said there.
Yeah.
There have been several. I mean, I can't even count how many instances of where some company or another is crunching and the employees get killed and they, are giving up their home life and they get divorced and they haven't seen their kids. Like, I don't agree with any of that stuff. I definitely think that, developers should work reasonable hours. They should get time off. Like, crunch shouldn't really be a thing that is regular at all. I mean, reserved for like emergencies only, and then people should do everything they can to avoid having emergencies. Um, but I have talked to some developers. I mean, I'm friends with like many, many developers, and we've talked about this before. It's really tough to say because when something like this happens, and you talk to the people who are on the front lines, right? The people who are like in the seats, who are doing the work, and they're like, we don't want you to not buy our game because that doesn't help us, right? Like, if the management is fucking them over and there's all sorts of problems, the people who are actually doing the work will be impacted if you don't buy that game. But also, how do you support those people and also not support the people who are making the bad calls, like the higher ups or the people who have unreasonable demands or unreasonable deadlines? I don't know what that answer is, and I'm not sure anybody knows what that answer is. I think maybe the best answer is just, he kind of mentioned unions earlier in his question. I think a game developer union would be great. I mean, I think unions in general for workers all over the world is a great thing because you can have, more reasonable work hours. You have some guarantees, make sure people aren't being treated poorly. I mean, I would love it if there were more protections in place just so that we wouldn't have to have these situations, right? Where people weren't going crazy with mad deadlines and making people work 7 days a week and, 12-hour days or whatever. So I guess that would be the optimal solution. I don't know that that's going to happen anytime soon. I don't know that that's even on the horizon. So in terms of what we got right now, we've got people who are making games. That's how they support themselves. They got wives and husbands and family members and kids. And then you've got these companies who are like maybe pushing them too hard. But if you don't buy that game, then that person who did the work is suffering. So
exactly.
I literally don't know what the answer is. I've talked to the developers who were in that situation. They don't know what the answer is. I mean, I know they tell me don't not buy the game, but they're also mad that they did these situations. So I don't know, man. Like, I don't have the magic answer for this.
Well, one thing is unions, definitely, if you can pull it off and if it makes sense and it works. Secondly, it's just like be cooler to your employees, because here's what's interesting. This is now a full-on tangent, but the movie industry, it's funny how people have put the games industry under a microscope for a lot of things that the movie industry does, and no one even looks at. Like, movies take a long time to come out, right? Just like games. But I feel like, I don't know if the pressure's the same. Maybe because games is like literally the biggest money-making media item there is, and it's bigger than movies by far. But in movies, it takes a long time for a movie to get made, years and years as well. There are people at the top that make terrible decisions, and a movie comes out and it's shit, right? But we don't go take the movie studio to task. Like, we don't even think about that. Like, there's not even an avenue for, I'm not saying there shouldn't be. There's no avenue to be like, man, that movie sucked. Whatever the name of the company is. I can't think of.
Paramount or Universal
Paramount,
or Warner
exactly.
Brothers, whatever.
How could you, Paramount? Like, that's not a tweet, It's just weird that it is so separate to games industry. That's something that came up with. I don't know. It's
a tough question. There's a lot of layers. There's a lot of moving parts. I mean, there's not really anything. I mean, honestly, I feel like, and this is difficult, right? And it's kind of the same in my real life, profession as well, where I feel like the answer is that the people who are doing the work need to get together and they need to stand up for certain conditions, which again leads us back to the question of a union, which I think would ultimately be a great decision. But it takes those people getting together and like refusing to do the work and refusing to, go along with these conditions that they don't like in order to fight for conditions that they do like. But it's tough because if you decide to do that, there's a very high chance you're going to get fired or they're going to hire somebody else to take your place. And then if everybody doesn't stick together, then it just falls apart, right? Same thing with my particular profession. We've been talking about having a union for years and years because we all really need one, especially now. But no one will do it because the second somebody puts their foot down and says, I will not work for you because I want better conditions, somebody else immediately takes that job. And then your power to bargain is gone because there's some other person who's doing the work that you felt like was not fit to be done. So I mean, I'm not a developer. I'm not a publisher. I'm not anything like that. But it seems to me from my limited perspective, that's the best way out of this. But again, just like with my profession, it seems like there's too much danger because people are not sticking together to get it done. So that, I think, is probably the biggest problem.
Well, one more thing on that then, and then we'll actually get to the actual question, is, I think it also could just be like, comes down to CEOs, creative directors, just being cooler. I know that sounds like simple, but it is kind of that simple. Like I've worked for many different game companies now, and like you can have heads of your company, of your development studio, fight for you. You know,
Yeah.
like they can fight. I witnessed it without saying any names of any different companies. But in the past, I've watched like the bigger fish and the big fish. Like, oh, big fish. I work for a company called Big Fish. It's not that. It's not that company.
You just outed yourself.
I know it isn't though. But yeah, you can have people on your team, go up to the people who are pushing those deadlines at you and be like, well, we're going to do this in this time. So anyways, yeah, I don't know.
I mean, that's like human nature though, right? Because like how many fields, I mean, we could look at farming, we could look at retail, we could look at restaurants, we could look at anything. And there's always like a small handful of bosses who treat their employees really well and they've got health insurance and everything. Everybody's happy. And then there's like a whole bunch of businesses where they treat the people like shit and they run them into the ground and people are unhappy. It's just like human nature. We need to treat each other with respect and with love and with care. And, employees who are treated well work better. They're more loyal. They do better quality work. There's no real reason to not do that except for greed. So maybe greed is the ultimate answer.
It's really just greed. Yeah. Okay, that's the answer. Yeah. So what's the actual answer to his real question, though? Because I dodged it.
You did dodge his question. What are historical missteps by companies that have impacted your ability to enjoy a title?
Oh, wow.
I mean, wow. I'll go first if you wanna. Okay. If you wanna.
Yeah, let me think.
So, this is kind of a big question, and I mean, one thing that kind of bugged me was I feel like Blizzard has made some real gaffes with Overwatch. I used to really play Overwatch a lot. I really liked. I used to spend quite a bit of time playing Overwatch, which is weird because I'm not really like a competitive online guy, but I really liked Overwatch, and me and my wife and my son would play it together. But some of the racial stuff they do in Overwatch is just really like embarrassing and bad, and it kind of cooled me off of it, and I haven't played it for quite a while. So that's one thing that really turned me off. Diablo 3, I think when the auction house first came out, when the game first launched, that turned me off.
Yeah, that was bad.
I stopped playing Diablo 3. I just recently came back to it now that it's like a totally different experience, much better now, but that was a misstep that turned me off. Speaking of crunch, I never got into Red Dead 2 because there was all those horrible stories about crunch and mistreatment of employees at that time, and even though the developers say don't not buy my game because that's hurting me, I actually did not buy that game, and I've never played it because of the horror stories that were coming out. So those are three that off the top of my head have really turned me off. There are a couple. I'm definitely not going to name names here, but there are definitely some developers who I've met in person who have been like super assholes, and so when their game comes out, I just 100% do not support those games, and we do not run them at Game Critics, and we just don't review them. Because you're a fucking jerk. Like when I meet you at PAX or something, there's a couple that stick out of my mind where I'm like, wow, that guy was a total a-hole and we're never covering his game ever. So not exactly the same thing, but that's, I guess, a misstep by a person, not by a company. But yeah. Any examples from you there, Carlos?
Well, I think Nintendo's always kind of disappointed me because I feel like I grew up with them, and this is a kind of a big statement, but I've never liked them as much as I did when I was a kid. I think that's a true statement.
Okay.
I mean, part of that's nostalgia, but part of it's like super late to online, super difficult to do multiplayer, right? Like I did a skit on my channel, youtube.com/a lot of things. And this skit was about, people trying to play Pokemon against each other and like the things they had to go through to get that fucking thing going, like multiplayer.
Yeah.
I feel like they've worked against me a lot, and also they've done so much stuff which is great, kid friendly, right? But when I grew up, it wasn't kid friendly. It was just whatever there was the new game, and I was like playing it on Nintendo. So that's kind of a weird answer, but it is true. Like whatever they've done since I played maybe Super Nintendo, let's say, or maybe N64, it's never really like stuck with me. Like handheld, I've liked the fact that they made handhelds, but if I'm being truthful, like I mainly played RPGs on it, right? But they were all old school RPGs I could have played anywhere else. It wasn't like a special occasion. I might be oversimplifying. That's a sort of answer. One other one that's recent is Fallout 76. I did talk about it positively on the show, but Fallout 4 came out in 2015. It's now 6 years later, and I just want more Fallout,
Yeah.
And I feel like that was first they came out with Fallout Shelter, which was not Fallout, and then they came out with 76, which is not Fallout. It's definitely like it has moments of it, and I had like some fun with it, but it's not a game. It's not a full on narrative one-player single-player game that I want with like difficult choices and crazy endings and stuff. So I don't know. I think Bethesda's done some stuff where I'm not sure. I didn't have the Fallout 5 experience that I wanted, but I don't know really other than that, really.
Well, that's a good example too, really, because I'm, I would have called myself a really big Fallout fan. I kind of bounced off Fallout 4, and then I was looking forward to 76, and then once I realized it was like MMO and all this crafting and shit, and I was like, like that. I mean, that to me is a big misstep because that is not what I wanted out of Fallout. I have never spent time with it, and I probably will never do. So that, in terms of misstep, in terms of development direction, I would agree with you there. That's a crazy one to do, but
yeah, in general, like I want that world so badly. Like it's such a special place, in my heart, and so not being there.
All right. Well, AJ, I hope we answered your question, and again, I apologize for taking so long to answer it. If anybody else out there would like us to answer your question, we are always up for that. It may take us a little while, pardon us, but we do get to it. So happy to answer any and every question that comes our way. Hit us up. We will get to that in just a second. But I think that's it for now. Anything left on your agenda there, Carlos?
I think that's it.
All right, I think that is it. I think we should probably wrap it up. Let's do it. Okay, that is the end of episode 224. But before we go, like I just mentioned, we'd love to get your questions, comments. Hit us up, sovideogamespodcast@gmail.com. We are on Twitter as a show @sovideogames, but you can hit us up individually. Carlos, where are you receiving messages this week?
I don't want any. You can send me a message if you want, but I just want you to go watch my videos.
Don't talk to me. Just
don't talk to me. Yeah. No, I'm doing a lot more of the videos that if you watch my channel on your phone, you'll see all these short videos. And I just did one on Cyberpunk. I did 2 on Cyberpunk, I think. So go over to youtube.com/a-lot-of-things on your phone and look at my short videos.
Excellent, excellent. As for me, the usual Twitter and Instagram. What is my handle? What is my name?
It's your name. It's your name.
It is. I got thrown off my game because I gotta say I gotta give a shout out to the mailman with Calves of Steel, Joshua Jackson. He hit me up on Twitter this morning, and he's like, "Hey Brad, what's up? You didn't give your usual spiel on the sign off last week," and I'm like, "Fuck, I didn't. I totally forgot." Because what I usually say is Twitter and Instagram, BRADGALLAWAY. All A's, no O's, and I left out the all A's, no O's part last week, and he busted me. He got me, and I'm like, damn it, my run of perfect performances is over. Joshua, thank you for keeping me honest. It's back this week, and this all A's, no O's is dedicated to you, my good man.
And what's weird is now you have O's in your name because of that. Include O's, people.
I guess I'll have to. No O's. All A's, no O's. Okay. All right, folks, that is going to do it for episode 224. Thank you again for joining us here at the So Video Games Podcast. We're glad you're here. We're glad you're listening. Hope it's not a hate watch for you.
No, don't leave with that. That can't be the ending. Gosh,
it's not the ending. I got more coming.
I know, but okay, just strike that from the record. I'm not going to edit it.
Your Honor, strike that from the record. And we'll see you next Friday. But in the meantime, this is Bye from Brad.
And later, Gator from Carlos. Ooh, I had one ready. It's not good.
It's not good, but you had it ready.